What's up, Phil? Sound effects.
Those are the rocks falling off because we just entered an Uncharted tomb. Where's your keyboard, Tim? Where's the keyboard?
I didn't. It's not hooked up.
It's
not hooked up.
You son of a...
Son of a Hoover.
That's very sad, Tim. I was expecting that keyboard to come in full force.
I know.
You could have played.
I completely forgot.
It would have been... Okay, everybody listening, maybe 2 weeks ago, he said, oh, it's perfect. We're going to do Tomb Raider. I'm going to bring my keyboard. It's going to be like the best thing. I can do the Tomb Raider tune.
I can do. Well, I'm going to list the Johnny to add it in post, and it'll be there.
Will it be?
It'll be there. Mm-hmm. Johnny will bring it.
All right.
He will put it there, and you can hear it in post. So it'll be like it happened in real life. The Tomb Raider theme. Hey, Phil.
Hey, my friend. How the devil are you?
Hey, I'm all right, man. I'm all right. The world is a strange place, man.
Don't even.
I thought
you were gonna say, I'm all right. The world is doing fine.
No, it's not. It's
and then
not.
I remember
my neighbor country is invaded by Russia. The world has gone crazy.
It's like one of the first things I looked at. Like, what's the distance between this and that? And it's like, oh no, you're neighboring. You're neighboring.
Yeah, but I'm glad the world is, united to give one big middle
There's
finger.
There's at least some kind of silver lining with that, right? There's a little bit of that, right?
Yeah,
but listen,
I am.
Yeah, go on.
I'm sad for all the people of Ukraine and anyone who's helping in any way. Sending donations, sending food, helping with shelter. Hacking the Russians or sending the message to the people to get rid of their regime. Wannabe Hitler guy. It's a crazy world. Like I've literally last 2 weeks was just we dealt with COVID for last 2 years.
Jeez. Yeah.
And it's been the same thing. And we're home, we're waiting for COVID to end. And it's been very stable, this kind of mindset. And all of a sudden
it's war.
This is happening. Yeah. And then I visited Jake after I haven't seen him in person after 2 years.
I know.
More than 2 years. Saw Jake and meanwhile, while I didn't see him, he got married and has a child.
Isn't that insane? I didn't think of that.
That's insane. Nope. That was a completely new man. It was a man, a philosopher who wants to be a designer, going around. And now he's a married man, living the life
of a family man.
With a wife and a child.
Yeah.
Of a family man.
Incredible. Incredible. Yeah.
I still have yet to see you.
Yeah, me and Tim have not seen each other in person since 2019.
I wonder what's the longest time between us seeing each other in person. I would assume it's more than 2 years.
Maybe, but that was probably when we were children.
Maybe when you were in America.
Yeah, no, but even
maybe
so,
2 or 3.
No, because we always visited every year.
Then we've seen each other every year, except maybe when we were little kids. Yeah. When you moved from Austria to
the States, probably
to US the first time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's we didn't see.
But
each
even
other
so, I do think that this might have been the longest time that we haven't actually physically been in the same perimeter.
Yeah, weird, strange,
crazy. Well, hello everybody. Thank you for listening once again. Hopefully, it wasn't too long of a wait because I think we have had a delay, haven't we?
Slight delay.
Instead of 2 weeks, it's been 3
due to the visit.
Yeah.
How about you, Phil? How are you doing?
I'm tired and waiting for this Jungle Book project to be over. That's what I'm waiting for.
Oh yes.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Soon it'll be available for the shoppers, and you can tell them all about it and be like, guys, get this. Help our project.
Yeah. Get us some new equipment. That's what I can't wait for. You know what? I was working on
better
editing.
Equipment. My classic line.
I was working in editing.
Always improving.
Yeah, I know. I was working and editing on these chapters. I have to do so much of this work, and I think that you can probably relate. Any creative person can relate to when you're working on something and it's going well, but there's always going to be something that you realize is wrong, and you're like, oh no, I have to go back, and I have to change this, I have to change that, and then you don't want to. You just don't have the energy to do it.
Yes.
That has been a constant this entire time working on Jungle Book. But look, I'm very proud of how it turned out. I can't believe we made something, in my opinion, that feels like it's some kind of a, the cliche is a movie in your head. To me, it feels like it, and I can't believe that we took an 1892 book and transcribed it that way without changing a single word. And I feel very proud about that. And hopefully everyone's going to be able to listen to it when it comes out.
I know you said that right now it's going to be released bit by bit for the backers. Is there anything that any regulars could listen to, like a sample of what it sounds like from the finished product? Is there anything like that?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I would love to put it on this podcast, but it's so embarrassing because when you hear my normal accent and then you go and listen to me do the British accent, it's like, oof, there's a disconnect, and it's like, oh, it's just pretending, That's how I feel.
Well, we can maybe link it. Well, we can just link it.
Link it. We can link it. We can link a sample,
so people at their own leisure can listen to it. Well, that's great. And speaking of bad English accents,
oh come on, I disagree. No,
we'll get into it. So let's two full podcasts. We're here.
Intro.
You're listening. If you're new. Yeah, that was the intro. Whatever. If you're new, it's Phil, my cousin, me, Tim.
Yeah.
We talk about movies and we compare a new and old movie. Today, I'm super excited about, probably for all the wrong reasons. I'm super excited about this episode. Probably, we're gonna talk off topic a lot on this episode, but
are we?
Sort of. All right, off topic. I don't know.
Well, I'm excited to hear what you got.
We're reviewing the new movie playing in theaters right now, Uncharted, based on the Sony PlayStation
Naughty Dog
game, and from Naughty Dog, and we're comparing it to Lara Croft Tomb Raider, a movie that came out 20 years ago, based on the hit Eidos, Square Enix and Core Design game Tomb Raider. Do you know the classic story of Eidos?
No, I don't.
Okay, so I am dyslexic.
Well, it's Eidos, isn't it?
Well, yeah, whatever.
I'm sorry.
But that's okay. That's the funny part. I am dyslexic, and I've played Tomb Raider games since I was a kid, since I was 7. And for the first 10 years, I read that the first time as Eidos. And in my head, I have always seen Eidos.
Right.
It was only years and years, maybe even 20 years after all that, I was watching some playthroughs on YouTube, and it starts, and I realize, wait, it's not Eidos, it's Eidos. And then the dyslexia thing happens. I don't know if you have dyslexia, but there's this thing when you finally see the word for what it is, the letters just jump back.
To what? To Eidos?
Yeah, to the real spelling of the word.
Berenstein,
so yeah,
Berenstein,
hilarious. Eidos.
Wow,
was in my head for such a long time. Anyway,
well, when I was a kid, I couldn't read it well. Like I thought, for the longest time didn't know how to pronounce Adobe.
Okay,
it was like Adobe. Yeah, I didn't know Adobe or Abode. I couldn't see. I don't know. What's the D? What's the B? Daddy, what is the D? What is the B? That's how it felt. Anyway.
Okay.
Yes, Eidos.
So
there's the publisher. Core is the design team.
Yeah, that's just the publisher. But back in the day, you don't know these things. That's what. So we're gonna talk about these movies.
Yes. Yes, we are.
So I want to start off with. We're gonna talk a lot about. Well, first of all, confessions. I'm probably gonna talk a lot about Tomb Raider, but I will try to talk.
I'm
about
happy to hear it. I'm happy to hear it.
But. So both of these games are inspired by Indiana Jones.
Yes. Which in turn is inspired by the old 1940s serials that came out.
That's my question. I don't know what Indiana Jones is inspired by. Can you tell me, what is the source material that, kind of Lucas and Spielberg mushed together to create Indiana Jones? Where does that come from? Because a lot of the tropes of Tomb Raider and Uncharted, are from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell? Do you know? Because I feel like you know more than me.
Maybe I do, Mr. Tim. Maybe I do.
Maybe I don't.
I think that Indiana Jones was based on the old 1940s serials. You know, the cereal it sounds like I'm saying breakfast.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like these like episodes that you would watch in cinemas before there was video or before there was TV.
I know very little of 40s.
Me too,
and
and it's so exciting because I don't know much about it either, but there were different serials that you would watch every week that would come out in this movie cinema. So as a kid, you'd be like, oh, I'll take a nickel and I'll go to the movie cinema and I'll watch this 20-minute episode. And then it goes into a cliffhanger. And then it's like, what'll happen next? Dun dun. To go next week.
What?
To watch.
That's insane. And that was like, was that produced by like the major studios or was that something else?
That's what I don't know. That's basically all I know. Like that there were certain types of serials that have genres to them, like Buck Rogers or Gordon Ramsay. No.
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon's alive. What's his name? Gordon Freeman. No. Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon.
Oh,
Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers were the two types of serials that inspired Star Wars. And there were
well, what's Buck Rogers? I know
what
Flash Gordon is. It's like sci-fi stuff, but what's...
I think Buck Rogers is exactly the same thing.
All right, gotcha.
More or less. And in turn, Indiana Jones is the same thing. It was inspired by the treasure hunting serials, adventure serials of that era as well. Okay.
So, and I would assume the treasure hunting serial stuff, would that be like sort of linked back to Jules Verne and that kind of literature?
I would assume so. Maybe pulp novels or something.
Even like between, like there were like, I know there's like, you remember the covers of like,
yes,
the novels for men of the 50s. And it's like a muscly dude with his shirt torn, like fighting a snake, and he's all bloody.
What's it called? Men's Life or something like this?
Is that what's like that kind of stories as well? Like a hero,
fighting a bunch of rabid weasels in a swamp.
The weasels in the swamp. We gotta find these. Those are so good. So lame. It's like you think like
Men's Life.
Like I don't know, like a guy would like go to the shop and be like, "Oh, the weasel one, man! Like look at him. He's fighting the weasels. I'm gonna read about the weasels."
Yeah. So that's where it came from. So Tomb Raider and Uncharted are both inspired by Indy, which is inspired by those old serials. It's all, there's nothing original under the sun anymore.
Nothing is. That's why this podcast exists. That's why we compare, because there's nothing. So here's my question. I remember a long time ago on this podcast, me and Jake were berating you, like, what's your perfect movie? And I think, I think you mentioned like, you know, it's like adventure, good versus evil, that kind of thing. So I'm wondering, is this genre? Is this it? Is this partially it? I mean, not these movies specifically, but this kind of it's like an action adventure. Mm-hmm. There's bad guys, there's good guys, and they're doing stuff.
Those are the movies that I find very fun. If they're done well, then they take me for a ride, and I'm very engaged. And you know, you can be creative, you can build worlds out of it. You know, you can learn about like fantasy and science fiction settings, and that to me, you know, is escapism. It's very fun. That to me is just so compelling. Okay. Maybe it's just because I want to leave this damn Earth.
Damn Earth.
I'm kidding.
But it doesn't necessarily mean this kind of like adventure, person on Earth kind of stuff. It could be space adventure. It could be historic adventure. It doesn't matter. Okay, so it's not specifically like...
No, that's what I love about movies. That to me is what's fun about movies. Okay. You can be anywhere. You can be in any time, any place, any dimension, anywhere. You can tell a story, and if it has a lot of elements to them, and they take you on a roller coaster ride of emotions and different things, it's great. It can be so fun, and I think that to me is what I love about movies.
He said that as he waved a banana around. I just want to point that out, and it was extremely distracting. And I have no idea what you said.
Holding a banana.
You're gonna peel it, and you're gonna mush it in a bowl. While you're holding a banana, look, I have proof that I've seen your brother. I'm drinking.
Oh yeah, Chakovechko beer.
Yep, I got it from Paula's parents. It's a Pilsner.
Oh, nice. You met her parents.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and then they got me a beer.
Cool.
I'm thankful for.
Very cool.
It's Pilsner. It's pretty good. Cool. I think it's fitting for this.
That's great. So
as Phil is eating his banana, I want to go. So these movies, as we said, are inspired by video games. So before we get into the movies, I feel like we should maybe spend some time talking about the video games, because
Spend some time.
For me personally, I'm pretty sure you all know that, especially after last live stream when I kept playing the Tomb Raider theme. Tomb Raider as a series is very near and dear to me. Like as much as to my childhood as The Matrix was, something that consumed my child mind, something as Lego did or Cartoon Network. Tomb Raider is the big pivotal pillar of my childhood. It consumed my mind. It inspired a lot of things. It was something that was just a word, and me and my brother used to mispronounce it, called Tomb Raider.
That's what happened to me when I was a kid in Austria.
Yeah.
It was the same. It was like Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider. And my sister, my older sister, would be like, it's tomb, tomb. That's not tomb. Tomb doesn't mean anything. Doesn't matter. But in my head, tomb means.
My dad said it's called Tomb Raider, and tomb raiding is bad, Philip.
Oh.
Just so you know.
It's evil. Let the spirits out.
It's bad. You shouldn't be raiding tombs.
You shouldn't be raiding tombs 1 to 10. Good.
What she's doing is she's raiding tombs, and that's bad. It's
bad. That's what the colonists did. Colonizers.
All right, continue.
Yeah.
Continue.
So, well, there's two aspects of this. Let's maybe we should jump on. Well, first of all, would you like to go on a little journey with me? Journey through time, and let's visit the series of Tomb Raider, because there's like 1,000 games. Well, there's not. There's actually 4 trilogies of Tomb Raider games. Now, I have
4 trilogies.
4 trilogies of Tomb Raider games.
4 trilogies.
4 trilogies. It's bigger than Star Wars. And it's all in a span of like 30 years less. Because here's the thing, like as I said, it's been part of my life for a very long time, but I'm very I don't know much. What's your relationship with Tomb Raider? So I want to go through these and ask you about what's your experience, and I'll try not to go overboard with this, because I have so many memories and so many like stories to tell based on my experiences with these games. So I'll try not to go overboard here, but I might if you're interested, Phil.
Sure. Man, this is our podcast. We can do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, so Tomb Raider.
And everyone's just going to listen. Yeah, so Tomb Raider for me was, I don't know who introduced it. Maybe it was just magazine covers and you see Lara Croft and you're like, I don't know what this is. She has big guns. Big plots of land.
And big guns.
Yeah. And I think the only time I really played Tomb Raider was when we bought a copy of the first game for the PlayStation when you were visiting with our grandma.
The famous story. Oh, your grandma lived there still.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But I mean, they visited our parents.
It was the war, the other war. Yeah. It's when NATO bombarded Yugoslavia, and it was towards the end of the war. And essentially it was either, Milosevic signs the deal or they're going to do a land invasion because of Kosovo, and my dad was very worried, so he sent me and my mom up to Slovakia. He couldn't leave because he was a man, and you can't leave because in case you need to be conscripted into the army. So me and my mom left. We spent some time in Slovakia, and then we went over to Vienna, where Phil and Jake were living with their parents, and also my grandparents were still. No, you're crazy. You're right. My grandparents already moved.
Crazy. I'm crazy.
No, you're right.
They called me a madman.
You're right. Grandma was there. What on earth?
I don't know.
That detail
I
is like so. But anyway, it's the famous story. Grandma gave us all like 300 shillings or something. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think
something like that.
Yeah.
We had a lump sum that we could invest, and we invested in Legos and PlayStation games.
So the favorite story. So Jake bought the worst item of all, I would have to say. He bought an Action Man that would take pictures, and you had to put the special film in his back. It sucked because the Action Man didn't move, just he moved his right arm. But Jake was obsessed with it taking pictures. It's the dumbest purchase I've ever seen.
Pervert Action Man.
And then he would never let us take pictures with it because, he had only one film in it and it was precious.
Yeah, so the film's going to run out.
So only very important things we must take photo. I chose a Lego game.
Yeah, like me with a duck.
Exactly.
I remember that one.
I chose a Lego game, Lego Island. It was hilarious because it was in Austria and it was in German, and I technically didn't know how to finish the game because I didn't understand what everyone's saying. It took me like 3 years to finish that game. Just like
That's sad.
just brute forcing it, trying every option, and then like beating the game technically.
It's a good purchase.
And Phil,
You had a long life.
you bought Tomb Raider 1 for PlayStation. This is
I
1999, so at this point, the fourth game was coming out when you bought.
Yeah.
So is this the only game that you played of Tomb Raider?
It's the only game I played, and I haven't gotten past the 5th level. It's called St. Francis Folly.
St. Francis Folly. That's
the one
that's still in Peru, right?
Greece.
Oh, that's the
it's
first
one in
level of Greece, like with the boxes you have to climb up.
And the lions, yeah. Couldn't go any farther than that.
Okay.
So the game is nostalgic up to then, and then I don't know anymore. And I'm like, what are these? And then I eventually played the anniversary edition, and I went through that one. And I'm like, what are these flesh zombies and these flesh centaurs without skin and disgusting. I didn't even know this was in Tomb Raider.
It's pretty it's extra disgusting with the old graphics, man, because you have no idea what's going on there. It's just flesh. So
the only other experience with Tomb Raider was on my demo disc when we bought the PlayStation, the coveted PlayStation with DualShock.
Yes.
Technology. It had the demo disc, and the demo disc had a level of Tomb Raider 3.
Oh.
And it was spooky because she was in a prison in Area 51 or something.
Yes.
And she had no guns, and she was violently beaten every single time because
a weird choice
prison guard
for
would
the
show
demo,
up.
I gotta say.
And it was dark, and it was like, and I was kind of like disturbed by that, you know? It was creepy.
Oh.
And those are my only Tomb Raider experiences of my youth.
That's crazy. Okay. Well, I was a big Tomb Raider guy. And I think you knew it because I found this. You sent this to me. I don't know what year this would be. I would probably guess 1999.
Oh, yeah?
Or 1998. And you sent me this.
I sent you something in 1999.
Yeah, I got this. Check it out. It's uploading it. Is it working? Wait, no, it's not working.
Oh, Hakes aren't going to work.
Hakes are not going to work. Damn it. Okay, I'm going to send it to you from my phone.
Messenger.
So we can cut this horrible, horrible conversation, but this. So you send me this. Check your phone. A drawing I got from Phil.
Oh!
It says, Timinku od Filipa. I got a little
Oh my god.
Okay, so here's some revelations.
That's my scream of revelation.
So
I can't believe this. I don't remember this.
We're gonna link this photo. We're gonna put it on Instagram.
This is fantastic. What the hell? How did you even had this preserved?
I have many things just preserved in archives.
Archaeological thing. Oh my!
I think there's a couple of interesting points that I wanna mention. Obviously, you can look at the picture and there's some great stuff like one arm being huge and one tiny, and her massive legs, which are amazing. I love it.
Massive thighs.
Massive
Look
thighs.
at those
But I think
massive sausage thighs.
The two things I want to point out is the little rose on the right. I don't know if that's originally yours but
I don't know.
But that's awesome. And then I want to point out the magical shorts, the 90s shorts that you have given her. That's some
dude. The
shorts,
the green and purple jams, like this, like some strange 90s. Like I thought maybe in my mind I was just like, we have to update her to make her cool.
Just as casual.
You know? Give her some, let's give her something that I wear.
Okay, and then this is
when I was 7.
This is discovery because I haven't seen this picture in a long ass time. But this is something that
I've never
I just
seen
realized.
It. I mean, apparently I drew it.
That I haven't realized of owning this picture for 20 years.
Okay.
So you see, she's with her left arm. She's like flipping the gun.
Yeah.
Up until this point, I thought that was a ball that had the letter T on it for Tim. I just realized that's a gun.
No, it's not that personable. Yep, it's her handgun. She's flipping it.
Yeah,
with her disgusting sausage fingers.
Go to our Instagram to look at this photo. It says Tomb Raider 3. I think it's probably from the demo or something like that. This was probably sent somewhere.
I think, yeah, because I'm pretty sure I thought I'll be the latest and greatest,
Yeah.
Tomb Raider 3. You know,
I don't know when this was made. So Tomb Raider 3 came out in 1998. So I assume this you drew this in 1998. Does this computer
or 99.
or 99 somewhere time? So thanks for that, Philip.
You're welcome. I've never seen this before. I even though I drew it, but
Yeah.
I love the way that her calves shrink all the way down into a pin. And then she has her nice little tennis shoes, and her nice. I love the little socks as well.
She's casual Lara Croft. All right, let's dive into the Tomb Raider games. So
this is crazy.
So speaking of demos,
guess I'm gonna have to redraw that.
Oh yes, please, and the whole getup, and we need that with the shorts. It's gonna be great. So in 1996, the game came out. It was inspired by Indiana Jones, Hard Boiled, and Tank Girl. Kind of mushed in this venture game, third person it was revolutionary. I mean, I was probably 7 when I saw the demo. My brother had it. It was in 3D. It was like adventure. Yeah, I saw a Quake before with 3, but this was new. You could go up and down and climb and do like acrobatics and shoot. And it was this adventure thing. There's mystery. I was really big into archaeology. I loved ancient. It was just insane to me, this game, and it consumed my mind. And then my brother arrived back from UK, and on his hard drive he brought Tomb Raider the game, and he was like, I gotta show you something. I have it. He just copied it from a friend. It didn't have any of the dialogue, so I didn't know what the story was. Neither did my brother. It didn't have any of the pre-rendered cutscenes. It only had the cutscenes from the movie, but without people just standing. And we had no idea what was happening, so we kind of made it up. It didn't have any of the level music, just the intro music, and it didn't have the cutscene, so we had no idea what the story is. The funniest thing, my brother was playing this for like a year, and I was playing it as a 7-year-old, and I was having trouble. I think I got stuck in Greece as well. He helped me out to get a little bit further, but I remember one day I visited his studio, and so this game goes through, you start in the Andes, you go to Greece, you go to Egypt, and you end up in Atlantis, where these bloody mummies are killing you, and then you kill this...
The fleshy boys.
And you kill this huge, bubbly flesh monster, and my brother was like explaining to me, it's like, because I couldn't see it, and he was like telling me, I'm at this boss level, and it's like this big gun, it's so big, you have to use all your shotgun ammo and all your Uzi ammo to kill this thing. And if you fall off the side, Lara Croft screams 3 times before she hits them. And I was like, that was my mind, because when you fall off somewhere high, if you're falling long enough, Lara screams. So this was so high, you have 3 Lara Croft screams until you hit. Anyway, and then I came to visit, and he's like, it's the end. I got to the end. And then the thing is, in the game, basically, you do a bunch of stuff. You kill the bad guy. You kill Natla, the evil Atlantean that's running all this. And then you trigger the explosion of this pyramid. And you know, classic Indiana Jones. You got to escape the burning down pyramid. And then the last thing you do, you slide down this. In Tomb Raider, there's a mechanic where you can slide down angled kind of walls. And you're sliding. And then boom, cutscene. She escapes the exploding pyramid, and you have your epilogue, right? We didn't have that scene, so it just ends of her.
I was gonna say, like,
sliding, and then she's sliding, and then boom, boom, the music starts, end. And my brother's, that's it. I'm like, what does it mean? He's like, I don't know. It just ends. And then he shows me you start the game and you have all the weapons, and I'm like, but what does it mean? Like, I was perplexed for years. Like, why?
Oh man,
where do you slide? Is that hell? Where are you going? Anyway, so that was 1996,
dude. Oh, no, you can't just leave us hanging. What, was that just like a anti-piracy measure that happened?
No, I think
like
basically,
they just don't give you the cutscenes?
I think he was like copying. It didn't have enough space for the rest of the stuff. Like all the cutscenes. You know, they were, back in the day, you know, rendered video
I know,
was insanely big for the old hard drives. You know, like if you had a 4 gigabyte hard drive, you're not going to waste it on, you know, cutscenes. So hilarious.
So what happened?
So that's it. That was Tomb Raider.
It just remained a mystery. Tomb Raider, the mystery,
and consumed my mind when I was a child. And then I'm walking with my brother's house, walking to home, and I know the exact position where we were walking, where my brother told me, because every time I walk there, I just think of this moment. We're walking next to the high school, and we're next to the gate, and my brother says, hey, you know what I read? They're making a Tomb Raider 2. And just the mind of a child, I couldn't comprehend.
You remember where you were?
I remember where I was. I remember what the leaves look like. I remember that moment. And I remember, and I was like, what do you think it's going to be? And he's like, I don't know. It's probably going to like, more adventures. Like, and my child was like, mine was like, do you think they're going to go to space now? Is it going to be like sci-fi? And it's like, no, it's probably going to be the same kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, all right. So Tomb Raider 997, they did another game. The original creator of the game, we'll link to the video that Phil, you found, which is basically kind of a little bit of history about the creator of Tomb Raider and Lara Croft. It's interesting because he kind of left after one, and things got a little bit of hand. And the second one, there's a lot of but for the first one, it was like hunting the Skion thing. That was the artifact.
Yeah.
In 97, it was a dagger of Sion. It's this dagger turns you into a dragon. It gives you powers. Lara goes through China, Venice, a sunken ship in the ocean, goes back to China, and then there's an epilogue in her manor. There's a lot more killing of humans in this one. First one was only animals. It
was mostly animals.
It was a little bit more cinematic, a little bit more story driven, a little bit, a little bit cooler. But that
I've never played it.
Yeah, I 997, and then in the first three main trilogy was when you were talking about 998, they released another one, Tomb Raider 3, the hardest game ever existed in the world. Neither did me or my brother finish it. I gave up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Huh. And it's funny because this was the game where, like, the previous two games, you kind of follow the story and you kind of do the globe-trotting, along the storyline.
Yeah.
And this one, when you first finish the first part in India, it gives you option. You can choose. You can go to South Pacific, you can choose. Go to London, or you can go to Area 51. Ooh. Which kind of was very interesting when it came out. I was like, oh, you can go where you want to go, but where you want to go, what? That doesn't make any sense. But the fact is,
well, yeah, you can go where you want.
When it's linear, usually games get harder and harder as you progress through the game, getting to the end, right? But now you have a choice, and this wasn't dynamic gaming. So I think that what they did is it's not like, oh, you play something hard and then you play something easy. Between the three choices, they're all hard. So essentially, the game is just hard. it just beats you by the end of it.
That's so mean.
It's just, I don't know. It's like the hardest game that exists. It's just horrible. You're finding these meteorite statues that came a long time ago into Antarctica, and some people took them away, Polynesians, and they made these statues, and they can bring, I don't know, some kind of mutants. There's walrus mutants in the end you're fighting. It's insane.
There's walrus mutants?
Walrus mutants, man.
Are there aliens?
There's aliens in Area 51. You find some aliens.
Well, I hope so. I just played the demo, remember?
Yeah, there's aliens in Area 51. It's great. Lizard people. It's everything. And that was the end of like the trilogy of Tomb Raider. They did a couple of games after that. They did Last Revelation. It's all in Egypt. At the end, allegedly Lara dies. I don't remember what the story is.
I remember that. Yeah, that's the two things I remember about Last Revelation, because I remember seeing it on store shelves, and I just remembered reading that Lara's dead.
Yeah,
and then they do like flashbacks or something.
Never finished that. It was too boring of the Egypt stuff, and some mechanics changed. Then they did Chronicles in 2000, which was apparently after this. Lara's allegedly dead. They do a funeral for her, and her friends reminisce, and you basically play the story. It's like an anthology stories.
That's the one.
Yeah. And one is in Rome, one is in Siberia, and one is Ireland. She's like a teenage girl. You don't have guns. Scary stuff. And at the end of it, cliffhanger. They're digging in the pyramid. She died, and they find her backpack. She escaped.
Oh, she's alive.
So, and then there's a 3-year gap. They did 2003 Angel of Darkness. It's the new.
Well, that's the next generation.
Yes,
one, right?
New engine. Finally let go of the old. This is 5 games of the old engine. The blocky structure of the world is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Lara's got a new body. She's all emo. It's all horror stuff. It's new engine. The climbing is.
Did you play it?
Yes, I played it.
Oh, you played it! Wow.
I played. I played all the games. I haven't finished all of them, but I played these, and it was like the system of climbing ladders. You wanted to die. There was this automatic system. You never climbed the ladder when you needed to, and she and she never, got off when you wanted to. She died a lot. It was insane. It was so frustrating. And also, they added a mechanic of like in previous games, you could hold on to ledge as long as you want, right? They had this like stamina thing, which she would
Oh, not the stamina bar.
if she was holding on to stuff, she would get tired and let go. That poor woman. And they also added like ragdoll to her dying.
Physics.
You just watch Lara die the most grievous body positions ever. They had good
the silliest of body positions.
Like renderings in that game. Anyway, it's like you go to.
I heard it was a disaster, and I remember when it came out, I was not interested in it. It didn't appeal to me because I think that the biggest thing that inspired my imagination, and I'll tell you right now, since we're talking about Tomb Raider, I even put that in my literature assignments for when I was in primary school. I was and I still am, I think. I was inspired by playing the moment in the Lost Valley. That's like in the first game where you enter the Lost Valley, clearly.
Yes.
And the velociraptors come in. They try to attack you, and the sky is all black.
Oh.
And then the T-Rex shows up unannounced. Just shows up from the blackness and chases you. There's no cutscene. There's nothing. It just chases you. You're put on your feet. You have to start shooting. There's a lot of atmosphere in Tomb Raider that is like that still sticks with me subconsciously when I'm thinking about something creative in that kind of way. Doesn't it to you? Because like I said, as a kid, I actually put that black sky, mysterious dinosaur jungle in one of my stories that I needed to do for school.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. Yeah, no, I mean, when we talk about like going from game to movie, I think there's a lot specific that's about Tomb Raider. I think a lot of people like it because of that, and we can do. But the funny thing is that you mentioned about that scene. So it's in the first game, you start in the Andes and you're in the mountains. It's snowy. And then you go through this small little crevasse cave, and it opens up to this big place where it's like lush and green. And first you get attacked by some velociraptors. It's like, what's going on? And a huge T-Rex comes to attack you. But you're talking about the black skies. The funny thing is that it's this old game, and they didn't know how to render like sky in the back, like have like a sky box. It was supposed to be an open thing where you have a blue sky. But the PlayStation couldn't handle it, so they just made it black. And then also, like the drawing distance in the old games was so bad, so like everything is like in that mist. Yeah. So it kind of accidentally created that kind of mood that you have. But
I thought it was so brilliant that they did that, and you're telling me it's an accident.
It's an accident. It's life. A lot of things you'll find that you think is like genius is like some accident.
Bloody hell! No wonder the anniversary. I remember being excited about the anniversary edition coming out, like the remake for Tomb Raider 1 in 2007. And I was so excited to see the Lost Valley again with the dinosaurs. Yes. And I couldn't be more disappointed at how lame it was.
Well, we'll talk about that trilogy after that, because they included, there's something that I just absolutely hate. But anyway, so the Angel of Darkness, it's all emo. There's vampires. It's just in Paris and Prague. It's all like dreary. I mean, I was first excited.
2003 male friend with the little goatee.
Yeah. And you played the guy. That was the worst level.
Early
and also,
2000s.
Man. I was a little, punk metal kid, and I thought Lara Croft with like eyeliner. That's like cool. I'm gonna play this game. Then the game sucked, and I was like, it's not worth it. Lara Croft with
all the eyeliner in the world is not worth it.
Then that would do well 2003. So Core Design, the team that made all these 6 games, is sacked, and the rights is given to Square Enix to make the next Tomb Raider game. So in 2006, rebooted with Tomb Raider Legend. It's a little bit grounded, new design for Lara Croft. It's not so sexy anymore.
You're talking about Crystal Dynamics or Square Enix?
Sorry, Square Enix. I apologize.
Square Enix?
Yeah.
Or Crystal Dynamics?
Square Enix is now. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Which one is it? I don't know. Crystal Dynamics or Square Enix? Crystal Dynamics. It's Crystal Dynamics. It has to be.
What Square Enix does?
Square Enix probably did the last one, the newest one.
Am I freaking?
Didn't
It doesn't matter. Who cares? The 2006
whatever.
Rebooted.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get you the right facts because I'm pretty sure it's Crystal Dynamics.
But it's not important. It's not important.
Okay. I just don't want Frank to write. I
don't think Frank cares about Tomb Raider, so we're good here. I think anyone cares about this except me.
All right,
so we're good.
Okay.
New engine, new team. QuickTime events. This is 2005. Like, okay, so if we're talking about video games, I mean, there's things I just despise. I despise anything you have to do in time. I hate. Like, I just hate games when they don't let me do things in my own leisure. It's just frustrating. I hate that.
Dude, I hate it. Yeah, me too.
I hate, the new trend of microtransactions. It's just horrible. Luckily, I'm not an idiot. I don't spend millions of dollars on stupid things.
On FIFA?
Yeah, on things I could unlock playing the game. So I'm immune to that, but still terrible patterns. I hate inventory management where you have to craft and upgrade things.
Me too.
Stats. All that RPG stuff, just don't. If it's part of the core of the game, it's great. But when they bring that shit to a game, that just to make it more complex, it's not part of the gameplay. It's just there because you can upgrade your gun to have this scope.
Dude,
hate that shit. And the worst thing in video game history of all time is QuickTime events. So if you're not a game person, let me explain what QuickTime events.
Events.
So when you're playing a game, you have this engine, you have the worlds and mechanics and your controller and it functions and you go and you interact with the world. It's 2D, 3D, doesn't matter. It has its rules and you can do things. A cutscenes is when that is locked and you're basically in a movie mode. The camera angle changes and they're doing usually some kind of acting.
Yeah, it's a
your
cutscene.
Characters, and you get to know the story. Now, some freaking bright-ass genius decided, why don't we, people may be bored watching these cutscenes, and we don't want to invent new gaming mechanics to deal with these. But why don't we just, in the middle of the goddamn cutscene, you're watching people talk, a boulder comes, and instead of automatically the person running away from it, we slow down time, we show one button on your controller, and if you press it in time, something will happen. If you don't, your character dies. It's like the
QuickTime events, baby.
It's the most laziest, the disgusting. It's just horrible. I hate it. It doesn't.
It takes you out of the moment too, especially when you're watching the QuickTime event.
Yeah.
You can't look at the cutscene anymore. You have to be like, press the button.
And what happened? It doesn't immerse you. You have to look at the controller. What is this red square I have to press now? Okay, well, great. Now I've done, what is this? You have the infinite possibilities of creating experiences. We're going to, talk about, going like a movie versus a game. You're actually interacting. You're living in this universe. You can do whatever you want. Don't compress it into a stupid, QuickTime. Anyway, the QuickTime events are just horrible in Legend. Combat in Tomb Raider games is always garbage. So in Legend, still garbage. It sucks.
So we're talking about Legend now.
Yeah, you're talking about Legend, yeah. You go from Kazakhstan to UK to Nepal to Bolivia to Tokyo. It's about these portals to Avalon with some Arthur legends in there.
Oh, cool.
I have to say the strongest, what they upgraded is the platforming kind of stuff, climbing. It was really good, really good design, where you got the hang of it. I would just sit down and just play for my pleasure of climbing, climbing places, just kind of get the timing right, and you just kind of enjoy just Lara Croft in one swoop cross this, and they did also what the old, my favorite thing about the old games is what you're talking about when you're crawling through some hole as Lara Croft and you come out and then you come to this huge open area and there's a little camera move. It just does it for you, and you're like, okay, you're in a new area. It's showing you what this is, and you're just taking it in. Yeah. What are the puzzles? Where do I go? Where's the exit? How am I gonna? And it's you're looking at this ancient tomb, and you're like, okay, how am I gonna solve that? It's that's the atmosphere of that is my favorite thing of Tomb Raider, and they had that in this Legend. You walk up, climb up something, and you're looking at the valley. You're like, oh, I'm gonna explore this valley, and I'm gonna solve this puzzle, and I'm gonna find the artifact. And kill some dudes.
At least they had that, eh?
Yep. So that's that. 2007. They just redid the number one in the new Legend engine. You played that?
Yep, that's the one I played. I only played 1 up to the 5th level, and 1 again, except in 2007, the remake.
Yeah. And then in 2008, they did Underworld, which is continuation of the Legend. But I think for some reason they brought like stuff from the anniversary, because Natla shows up there. It's still about those portals. Now it's about Thor.
She does?
Yeah. I can't remember. It was weird.
Wow.
She's looking for her mom, Lara, and she's behind these portals. And she goes to Thailand, Mexico, and the Mediterranean Sea, and Arctic Sea. And in the end, something happens. I don't know. It wasn't as good as Legend, but it was a bit too dark. I was lost in Mexico. You're driving a motorcycle or something like that. Played on the Xbox. I don't know. It was fine.
Okay.
And then
so from all of those, which one's your favorite from there?
It's got to be the first trilogy. So if I go just number 1 is my favorite.
And then 2,
and then 2, and then 3, and then the rest are like
the hardest game, aka.
Yeah, maybe Legend would be like a 4th, and then the rest, who cares?
Okay.
And these are all the games I played. The fourth trilogy, I did not play. I started to play, so they rebooted again in 2013 with Tomb Raider. Trilogy. So it kind of doesn't follow any of the old stories. It's young Lara, and she's on.
It's the 2013 one that I didn't like. Yeah,
it's she's on this is her first adventure, and she's like trapped on this crazy island in Japan, and she's got to like survive, and it's like I can get over the whole like whatever, she's young and she needs to survive part, but one thing, QuickTime events, more of them, so. Kill me. And then second,
it was such a hit.
And second, they added the second worst thing I hate is inventory management, because you got to craft your bow, and you got to craft your arrows, and you got to make a poison arrow, and then you got to do this, and then you got to be. Yeah. I started to play that, and I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not managing this stupid grid inventory in a Tomb Raider game. I can't deal with this.
I shall not indulge in this tomfoolery.
I want to grab some guns off the floor, and some health, and just be done with it. And some keys. And explore. I don't want to do this. I don't want to craft a bow.
But Tim, when you find different items and put them together with a little bit of that, salt and pepper, and then
that's exactly.
And then you massage it together, and then it becomes an advanced sniper rifle, maybe with some micro exchanges or whatever they call them.
Yeah, micro exchanges, and you get a little scope on it. It's the best.
You get a little scope, and it'll have a little sticker. Have a nice little Tomb Raider sticker.
So yeah, they continue the story.
I played Tomb Raider 2013 because it was on sale for
99.
3 euros.
Ooh.
Like €3 on sale.
Good price.
And I was like, hey man, I'll get it.
Yeah.
And I was upset at the reboot from the beginning because I didn't like. There's a lot of talking, lots of cutscenes, and I thought that's not Tomb Raider to me. I didn't like that aspect.
Yeah.
And also, I quickly noticed that she was like, I don't know how to kill anybody. I'm so scared. What is all this? Where am I? And then she gets stabbed 500 times and falls down many different ravines and gets drowned, and then shoots the hell out of at least 100 people.
That's true.
And then she's still like, I can't use this gun.
I can't use this gun. I love that video games when you like annihilate 5,000 people, and then you come to a cutscene. It's like, I can't kill another person. It's like, what happens to the other
200 rogue men that you've just...
No problem there, just shooting them down with any sort of disgusting way. And they continued. The 2050 did Rise of Skywalker.
That's right, Rise of Skywalker.
Syria and Siberia. They made it a little less...
I don't know anything about these.
A little bit more Tomb Raider, but not that much. And in 2018, Shadow, they continue the story. She goes to South America, I don't know, finding some lost city. And
that's where she becomes the Tomb Raider?
I don't know. I started all 3 of these games and just got upset after like an hour. I was like, it still sucks. You can't play this. So those are there. If you enjoy them, good for you. You can let me know what happens in them. I don't know if I'll ever play those, but that's the 4th trilogy. And then the future, say Tomb Raider. They're making a Tomb Raider game that would combine elements from all 3 series, as in all 3 aspects. So
I'll see it when I see it. I don't know.
We'll see it when you see it. So that's a Tomb Raider stuff. How about Well, how about you,
Me?
Phil? Do you know anything about Uncharted?
Didn't play any of them.
Okay.
Barely know a thing about the Uncharted.
So there's 4 games.
I know the music. It's great.
Let me tell you about my experience with Uncharted. I don't know if I told the story.
No.
I didn't know about Uncharted. When I was living in Slovakia, when I moved here, I told the stories of working at that video game store with the money laundering,
With
and
the Italian. Yeah.
Italian next door, and the weird manager. We were hiring a guy. He was an architect. He was between jobs, and he was working, for a couple of months at the store. We became friends, and we found our joined love for Tomb Raider and all the games we grew up. So we're talking about Tomb Raider. He's like, "Have you played Uncharted?" I'm like, "No." I was like, "I you had a PlayStation." I was like, and he's like, "You love Tomb Raider. I love Tomb Raider, and Uncharted is like the next level of that. You gotta play Uncharted." And I was like, "Okay, well, great. Like, I'll come over. Like, what's it like?" It's like, imagine if you're like playing a movie, and just my heart sank, and I was like, "Oh God, not this, not this again."
I got tricked.
No, I don't want to play a movie. I want to play a game. I don't want to go through some rail. I want to make my own adventure. The perfect game for me is Minecraft. It's just like there's no story, right? Yeah. There's no ending. It's your gameplay that creates the story, especially when you play with friends. It's the memories of. Because it's so much more impactful when it's not written. It's actually something you just go through, and it's at random, and it's exciting. So anyway, I come to his house, and he shows me, I don't know, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3. Maybe you guys who play Uncharted.
Dude, I don't know.
Well, tell me, but he's like,
Clearly.
Here's a level for you, and it's like you're escaping through this house as they're shooting you, and it's like, and it's the funniest thing is like. Like somebody who's playing this game and they know how to play it and everything, and they give you the controller. And when it's like a game like this, when it's like very orchestrated, you immediately break it, because it was like I didn't know how to control. So I was running and I was bumping into things and I died. And he's like, "Well, no, like you can jump out of this window and do a flippy thing." I was like, I'm trying and it's not working. I was like, "Okay, forget that. I'll show you this level." So after a while, you're in a plane, and your plane crashes into the desert. And this is great scene where you experience that fatigue of him lost in the desert. So he gives you the controller, rolls it up, plane crashes into the desert, and I'm Nathan Drake, and I'm in the desert, and he's hurt. So he's like, the character's like holding his belly, and he's thirsty, and he's kind of hunched over. He's like slowly walking through and you're supposed to hold right. And you're walking, and it fades through scenes, gives you this.
Yeah.
But again, I'm just jumping into this, and immediately I start playing with the controller. So I'm crouching, I'm doing this, and I break him, and he starts running again, and he's like,
"Yeah, you break the illusion." Yeah,
break the illusion, because it's a game, and it's like, and he's like, "No, you're ruining it." And I'm like, "What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? You want me to walk in one direction for like an hour? Like, is this
your idea of fun?"
I can just watch a movie. I don't have to hold the goddamn controller in one direction. So that was my experience in Uncharted.
And that's it. That's Uncharted.
That's why I play. And then I also watched a Let's Play of Uncharted 4, I think. It just like somebody played. It was an interesting story, so I watched that.
Yeah, that's what I did with God of War.
That's all I know about Uncharted. How about that's it? Do you anything?
I know little bits and pieces from friends who are big fans, and that's all I know. I know the character, his archetype. I know his friend Sully, and I know that they're a bunch of thieves and they're doing modern era tomb raiding, Indiana Jonesing.
Yes,
pretty much, and that's about it. And I hear that they're very fun and engaging games, even if they're
beloved. People love them.
Yeah,
Naughty Dog.
Even if they have. Yeah, even if they have QuickTime events and whatever. I'm sure when you get into the story and it's fun. Yeah. And I do feel like video games have that power over movies where it's interactive, and if you're engaged, you're engaged. You're going to love it. Yeah. It's going to be much more of a trip than a movie could do.
And it's very, very levels of interaction through like something like Minecraft, when you're fully, to something more like that's cinematic, especially in like 2000s when 3D games became more viable. I think a lot of Hollywood people and a lot of people who were thinking in sense of narrative, they were like, "Hey, I can tell this narrative through a video game." and it's more, the experience is heightened because you're in it. And I want to talk about, okay, video game adaptations. They're both video game, and I'm feel very strong about this. It's when you're adapting anything, let's say from a book to a movie, each of those have their strengths and weaknesses. And when you're doing that, you have to think about that when you're adapting. Let's say if you're looking at a book has its strength that, you can read it on your own pace. You can kind of feel through it. It's also longer. Also, you don't see any of the pictures, so you can imagine things. So one, it depends on the creativity of the person. Sometimes they might be confused and have a hard time reading the book, or if they get it, it can be so much more immersive because in their head they'll imagine it with emotions and anything than a movie. On the other hand, a movie, you're limited to the pacing of the movie, so you have to pace it. The person can't control that. You're also limited to only seeing things, so they can't imagine things. But you're also that's a strength because you can control that. You can make sure the person is seeing what. And there's also other stuff, like in Dune, you can read what somebody thinks, but in the movie that's always cheesy. It's different. And when you're talking about games. That's even crazier because, what makes a game good a lot of times is that gameplay. And a gameplay transition into a movie just doesn't work because it's interactive.
You're not playing.
Exactly. Something mundane as picking up rocks and putting it in a pile in a video game can be super engaging because of, what it means. You're trying to achieve things, blah, 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 blah. In a movie, that will never be exciting because you're just watching that. So that's a really big difference between, even though at first glance you think, well, movie, video game, it's both visual, things are happening linearly, it should be the same thing, but it's not. And, for the better or worse of these movies, I think both of them understood that. They didn't go for, well, let's just adopt, one-to-one like an idiot. I don't think anyone did that.
I feel like both of these games have stories.
I know, but I think
you
both
can take
of them,
the story from it. Like if they made Tomb Raider the movie about the Scion of Atlantis.
Yes.
You could take little bits of that and you can turn it into a movie.
That's true, but I think both of them didn't make the mistake of trying to somehow like we talked about Tomb Raider. It's atmospheric. It's about solitude. You're by yourself.
That's also true.
Exploring. Yeah. Imagine a movie an hour and a half of Lara Croft not talking and just
That's what I was thinking myself. Like I was thinking watching someone do that is not at all the experience of being the person and going into those environments.
Yeah, so that's impossible. Then yes, the question is, do you then the plot of the game, do you take that or you just take some elements of it? And I have no idea about Uncharted, what the hell they took from the games, if they took anything at all. But for Tomb Raider,
I don't either. But
they didn't. They just took some key elements. I think they took the fact that it's Lara Croft.
Rich.
She's a rich English woman. She has a manor. She has a butler. She then
she goes out and does stuff for her own amusement.
she does the Tomb Raiding, and there's some kind of
likes it
artifact, some kind of end worldy kind of stuff. But this story is not from any of the games. It's just kind of made up, and it's movie-fied. There's some additional characters bumped in there because it couldn't be just about Lara Croft. I don't think anyone would see it, and that kind of thing.
And it was fun. It's a fun, stupid movie, and it knows it's dumb, and it's fun. I thought it was very entertaining.
I mean. Okay, so let's
talk
about Tomb Raider. I think I have some.
Okay.
If we're talking about references to the video games, I saw a few. There's really little. I mean, in Tomb Raider, you can do this. Like you can jump, but you can also jump like a head dive. If you jump into any ground, you'll die. But if you do it in water, you'll survive.
Yeah, that's the point.
She does it once. She jumps off this waterfall. But the funny story about that is. Since we didn't have instructions or anything from the game, my brother figured out that like halfway through the game. I remember one time visiting his house and he's like, dude, I gotta show you something. Okay, so he loads up Tomb Raider, and he's just like, he's looking for a spot, and he's like, when you're jumping, hold shift. And I do it, and she does the thing.
She does the swan dive.
Yeah, and you're like, what the hell was that? Anyway, so she has this one. She obviously has the double guns, the butler and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so there's that. So, what is the story of Tomb Raider, Phil?
The movie?
The movie.
Well, Lara Croft is an adventure-seeking, independent, rich, skilled raider of tombs who just looks for architectural. What am I talking about? Looks for ancient mysteries out in the world because she can. She lost her father in the war. No, she lost her father mysteriously. So
disappeared.
Her dad is. Yeah,
her actual father. Angelina Jolie's actual father is playing her.
John Voight. Yeah,
that's
John
hilarious.
Voight is in this. And both of them have English accents.
Yes, they do.
And well, it turns out that one of the things that she found is a clock underneath, hidden inside the big giant manor she lives in. And you know what? There's this Illuminati.
But my favorite quote
organization
of the movie.
Wait. Hold on. I'm done with almost done.
Okay, go.
The Illuminati organization wants a piece of that clock, and it's only a matter of time before either of these. I don't know. It's
confusing. It's okay. It's okay. There's planet alignment. Illuminati want the clock to end the world. Lara Croft wants to put it in a museum. Indiana Jones.
But and then she has she has her goofy assistant.
Yes.
And she has her rival / ex played by Daniel Craig with a fantastic American accent.
So this movie,
so good.
This movie is amazing because you have Daniel Craig, a British person, playing an American, and you have Angelina Jolie, an American, playing a British person. I love it.
Wait, Lara. Wait, here, guys.
It's a video game.
Let's
character.
pull the thing, guys.
Let me take off my shirt and pull the things with a bunch of Cambodians. Okay. Well, here's the funny thing. Do you have this? So I discovered while watching this. I have this thing when I'm watching movies, especially blockbusters from 1998 to 2003. There's this sensation of I can't see it. I can't immerse it. I can only see it as a movie. And what I mean is like, I can only think of, okay, so this is the shot. Okay, they set it up like that. Okay, and there's the actor. Okay, that's probably green screen. That's probably, matte painting. Okay, that's some CGI there. Okay, that's the stunt double. Okay, now they did the reverse shot. Okay, so she said the line. Okay, for some reason,
only movies from the late 90s and early 2000s.
I just take him in as movies. Like if I watch the Spider-Man, I watch X-Men, any of these movies, I'm just watching them. I'm just constantly thinking about the movie making process as I'm watching these for some damn reason.
That's the weirdest thing. You don't have that? I've ever heard. No, I have that with every movie. I just
like, okay, so like I think like after a while, like let's say, especially I think the MCU movies kind of knocked it up a notch where today's
you can't tell, right?
Unless it's the face replacement stuff, young de-age and stuff like that you just don't question. Like I don't think like it could all be CG or none of it could be CG. You don't know you're watching it. It just all looks normal, right? But there's just something about these movies where I can't stop not like there's ADR there. Okay, that shot was did in reshoots like 3 months later because the hair is like completely like that's all I can do.
Okay, but why movies from the late 90s and early 2000s?
There's something about these movies. Like I've watched this movie maybe twice in my life, Tomb Raider.
We watched it a few more times because we kept renting it from the video library.
Funny story, a similar story to Tomb Raider 2. I remember where I was when my brother told me they were making a movie. It was in my school under the stairs, and he was like, they're making a Tomb Raider movie. I was like, what?
Did he just show up at your school? Like,
I think it was the summer thing where this English group came to this Christian thing came into the school, and we were under this metal staircase, and he was holding on to the railing. He was like, they're making Tomb Raider movie, and I'm like, what is it? I'm like, who's gonna play Lara Croft? And he's like, some young chick, Angelina Jolie. I'm like, I don't know what that is. I hope it's gonna be great.
Wow.
But
wow,
dude, but it's so weird. I don't know. And that's all I could think about this
that's
movie.
a you problem, man. I have no idea. I can't. I'm not your psychiatrist. I have no idea how to.
Maybe because all the behind the scenes, like I watch from that era, and there's just
maybe.
And this also movie is very, like kind of like movie blockbuster movie, like you can see, okay, there's the CGI, it's popping out there, and there's the say her line, Angelina, say the line.
Yeah,
Illuminati.
there's a lot of they're the Illuminati.
So there's my favorite quote is Angelina Jolie takes out a knife, throws it at a cross, and then says, "Illuminati." I just want that out of context. I just want that. My favorite thing. It's just so good.
Well, did you know there was one cool thing from the game that was in the movie where she just went, "Uh-huh."
Did she go in the movie? Go, uh-huh?
Yeah.
I missed that, man.
When the snow dogs, when she's escaping,
okay,
the destruction of the third act, right?
Oh,
and
no.
then she gets to the sled. Remember with that awesome music?
Oh, dude. Well, let's talk about aging this movie. Matrix inspirations, man. Just just everywhere. I forgot about that.
She had the glasses, but I don't know. Like I think it's silly, but it feels like it knows it's silly. It knows it's silly.
But it's just funny how I forgot about like how just everyone lost their goddamn mind like 5 years after the Matrix, and everyone was putting that sort of breakbeat music in there, and everyone's doing flips.
That's the most aged thing, I think.
It's just so
the
funny.
Music.
It's just still so out of context. It's just like and she's shooting robots for no goddamn reason.
I hated the robot thing. I've always hated the robot thing.
She had like robots at her house.
Wait, that was music from the Matrix. I forgot.
Yeah. It was just
was that one?
It wasn't music from the Matrix. It was just music, that kind of music.
No. The first. No, I want to take you on a roller coaster, wasn't it?
Was that the song?
Or was it the other one?
I don't know.
It was one of those songs. It was definitely in the Matrix soundtrack, though.
But that's it's got some aging problems. There's like a shower scene where Lara Croft is taking a shower, and I'm like, well, this is the most character development we're gonna get. We're gonna watch her take a shower.
Well, hey, come on.
And she's like,
Daniel Craig was naked as well.
That's true, but he wasn't like sensually
with his abs
in silhouette washing, and his lips, his huge lips weren't quivering as he took a shower.
Oh, come on. At least there was something with like Lara Croft and her dad, that was a little through line.
But it's very aged. It was very like just here. Like it's so funny. It's just like here, like
I mean, yeah,
nothing
like
was ever developed.
She was
like you gotta jump. I mean, it's a funny aged movie. I mean, here's it.
Go on.
Well, did you know the director of this movie?
Yes.
This is the most random shit ever. Directed the music video for Rick Astley, "Never Gonna Give You Up."
Everything's explained now. Now I get this. Now I'll understand
sense.
it.
He didn't
so
make any
better.
movies before and after, I think. I don't know. I was curious to see like what her stuff, but this was I would say very music video-y. The whole
oh yeah, no. This whole thing felt like a music video.
Yeah. I remember like watching it a long time ago. Like when I first saw it, I really got bored towards the end, and when they're doing the
you got bored. Yeah, I think we got bored too.
Like time stuff, and it's like
I never felt that it was an amazing film itself. Of course,
but it's also like it's very surface level. I mean, like there's hilarious shit. Like I was laughing so hard because they're saying like, I think the story was like, they took like there was this one triangle. They keep calling it triangles. I don't know. I find it funny when people call it pyramid or something like that triangle. It is technically a triangle, but stop calling it triangle. It just feels like math. And it got divided into two. And they say the ancient people, they were like, they didn't want the triangles to meet, so the world doesn't end. So they took it to the opposite sides of the earth, right? And I'm thinking, like, they took one to Cambodia and the other to Siberia. That's not the opposite side of the earth. They're really close to each other. They're just above each other.
So
they're just, it's like they didn't really go far. They just went like,
about that. You were in Cambodia,
dude.
once.
I was there. I was.
That was the soundtrack. That was an excerpt from the soundtrack.
And as she's walking through the temples, I saw all those temples. Angkor Wat. I was there. I have photos. I didn't really go there because of Tomb Raider, the movie. I went there because of
the movie.
Of just general Tomb Raider vibes there.
The money
from the game. But yeah, that was really cool. Just going through that and just feeling.
Oh, I'm sure.
Really reminded me of Tomb Raider 3 a lot because of some of the levels.
Cool.
Oh my goodness.
Right. Well, no. Tomb Raider is. I had fun watching it. I love the villain. He was so funny every time he showed up with his smile.
Who's the villain?
Hello,
who's it played by?
Lara.
Who played the villain?
Mr. Man, whom I've never seen since. Mr. Man. That's his name.
Oh wait, it was he was what's his face? He played in Game of Thrones. He's like,
oh yeah,
he was always going on to Daenerys or whatever you called her, Khaleesi. What's his face? Ser Jorah Mormont. There we go.
Yeah. Now that you said that, I never saw all of Game of Thrones, but I remember his face because of that.
Oh yeah, he is. He's the bad guy, and then Daniel Craig is working with him.
It's hilarious.
So
Lara, 24, 20, 23, 22.
Well, Angelina Jolie.
Come on,
Well,
Lara.
one thing I learned was like, oh, she's so young. So felt so weird.
I know. No.
Like,
Yeah, you're right.
I think she was 25
now.
when this was filmed.
25.
What did you think of Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft?
She embodies most of the aspects that I am very much. I feel like that. I think Lara Croft is.
Mm-hmm. Here's I kind of disagree.
It's a pretty good fit, I think. No,
I think as far as marketing, I think it was a good choice. I think Lara Croft is Angelina Jolie was like really big then, and she was this kind of actiony kind of cool girl. I think as far as marketing and as far as putting Lara Croft in a movie, I think was a good idea. I think as far as like a fan of Tomb Raider and Lara Croft, I don't think she does. Because and I'll tell you my reasons. In the games, Lara's more posh than she is badass, right? In the games, Lara, all the action and the acrobatics, and just being this cool action hero, she does that because she has to get to the things. Well, I feel like Angelina Jolie in the movies, she does them because she loves them. She's like this, I'm a badass. I'm gonna punch. I'm gonna do things. There was this level of like, all right, I'll have to jump here and swing here. Oh God, oh Lord.
Oh, I see.
It was a very like it was when I was watching, I was just like, okay, that's. And also like, I'm really curious why. Kind of, it's the idea of Lara Croft. Like she has the two guns, but everything like the outfit is changed. She doesn't have brown hair. She's got like Angelina's black hair. It's kind of like a very different idea of. I wonder, was it a licensing problem or this was a creative choice?
Creative choice.
You think they wanted to distance themselves, or just they had like that was done? This is now 2000s.
I think it's 100%. Yeah, I think it's 100% a creative choice. I don't think that there's a licensing thing with this. Like what? Like, oh, you can't use Lara's video game likeness.
I don't know. Maybe the original creator was like, you can't do that. Like you can only do that in games. You would have to ask my permission for it. I'm just curious, but I don't have any more information on that because like maybe thought it was like 290s. The whatever the.
Oh no, yeah,
shirt.
Because we're in the early 2000s where we're all wearing black. You see,
that's
it's
true.
Like the X-Men.
That's true. Matrix happened. I forgot.
Yeah, the Matrix happened. It changed everything.
Yeah, so it's
Okay, well, you see, it's interesting that you know more about Lara's personality just by playing the games than I would have because I just played the first one and it just.
Yeah,
I can see that. I can see Lara being more like, I have to go and do this, but yes, I am. I'm going to lock my servant up into the
freezer because he's been naughty and following me around, making old man noises, and you can hear the tray going, ding, cling, cling. But but it's like funny because it's it's those movies. You can clearly like you can see which are the lines and the way like the writing of the movie. Like is she posh
The writing of the movie was the one thing that I was just like, they could have done better than that.
At one point,
you know where it's gonna go, you know how it's gonna end.
And the dialogue for her is one time she's like posh lady, and then the other she's using British street slang, and I'm like, what is she then? What is this? Like, can you like pick something, or just grab?
She's a streetwise posh lady.
She's a mate or something like that. I'm like, what? I thought she's upper class. Anyway, it's not nitpicking, but it's like, it's okay. It's funny. I don't know. It's a funny movie. It's a really, a time movie of its age.
It's hilarious. It's great. And the music. Let me tell you something about the music. So I got the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm. What, back then?
No, later.
Okay.
But I got it and I listened to it a lot. And the soundtrack was done by Graham Revell,
mm-hmm.
I think his name is. And it's pretty bad.
In what sense?
The score is just loops and repeats.
Just lazy.
And I heard that he had like 2 weeks to do it.
Yeah, classic old time stuff.
And I remember that one story I know about the soundtrack is that he apologized about the score. Because you should listen to it. There's like lots of they just used samples from different like ethnic flute samples.
Oh, classic.
And it's like, you could hear there's like a bunch of stuff in the soundtrack that's so stock. Like there's this, it's not in the movie very much, but there's this track where they go to Siberia, mm-hmm. and you hear the throat singer, right? And I've heard that stupid throat singer like stock recording like in so many different things. Yes. There's so much of that, and it was so bad. There's like an action scene that is just so grating to listen to. Because it's just
yeah. To think about it, it was weird.
So
it was a weird soundtrack. It was like this between lands, yeah.
But the main title was pretty good. On the soundtrack, mm-hmm. It's not in the movie. Too bad they didn't use.
Exactly. Well, I think but that's a different mood again. That's like exploring the lands. This is I'm shooting robots while time spots.
Play my classic party mix.
It's so funny. It's like I love the quotes. It's like, you are Tomb Raider. Or my favorite is like, did you notice there was one time where they future reference things? Oh, not future reference. Well, in one sentence it says it's adventure time, and then it goes to, I hate sand, it gets everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, what a wild combination of one being a future reference to a TV show, a cartoon, and then I guess it was contemporary. I hate sand, it gets everywhere. That's I don't know if that was on purpose, but there it was.
That was before episode 2.
They're both future episodes, a future whatever. Quotes.
Yeah,
it's insanity. It's a prophecy. This is a prophetic movie. But
it's a prophetic movie.
and as much I love Angelina Jolie, and as much as I don't agree with it being a authentic portrayal of Lara Croft from the games, I think at least she's very charismatic, and there's a distinctive look to Angelina Jolie, and I think that does great for a character. Unlike the two main actors in an Uncharted movie, which I will sound so insulting, but they have the most default faces of men on this planet. Marky Mark and Tom Holland. What the hell?
I hated this movie. It was stupid and I didn't like it.
That's a brief review from Phil.
It was so boring. It was so boring.
I think it's a definition of bland. Just like, like American bread you buy in those bags, the stuff you should be toasting, not eating. It's just that this movie was that.
It was so bad, man. I don't even know what to say about this stupid
thing. So
can
you? I can't
unfarted.
I can't figure out the story behind.
What was your experience? Oh, dude, don't even ask me. I wasn't paying attention.
I'm not sure. I don't understand. There was the ships, and then the ships. There were keys to the ships. No, the keys. No, the ships were left.
The ships.
Magellan died. Ships were left, but there were keys already made. But Magellan died. But one key was for Magellan, the other one's for his crew. But Magellan died. So they had 2 keys.
But how many times can we say Magellan?
Not many times.
Magellan.
And then it came back
Magellan.
to Spain, and they built some insanity stuff below a church that you have to lock out with keys.
That was that wasn't even a good fight. It was like, I know what's gonna happen. You're opening it with the keys and stuff, and then little do they know that an opposing party is there to get the treasure of the Magellan ships.
Get the treasure, well. Magellan. But here's so
and Spider-Man and Mark Wahlberg are in a movie trying their best to have chemistry, but there's no chemistry.
There's nothing.
This is like baking soda and water.
It's true.
Nothing's happening.
They both look like they hate what they're doing. You know, they're both annoyed that they have to do, like, this movie's trying to sell you that these guys love whatever Tomb Raiding, but they both look so annoyed.
I love Tomb Raiding. I love it. It's so good. It's so great.
So great. Let's just do it. Let's just stop. We can just
join me, Spider-Man.
Let's just go get the goal. Let's just do it. Let's what are we doing? What are we doing here? Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Let's do this real quick.
Man, I was just so uninterested in the. It was like eyes glazing. I barely made it through the entire thing. The only thing that I found funny was the Antonio Banderas being the bad guy, but then he gets killed by the real bad guy.
There's
that was great.
As far as, like, I love when a movie's neat, like Edgar Wright and his, Cornetto trilogy. It's very neat that everything is set up. Everything that's set up is
oh man, that's layered. Those are so cool.
Is paid off. This movie tries to do it, but it feels so unsatisfactory. Every single thing that's set up is paid off, but you can see it from like 1,000 miles away and when it's approaching, so it just doesn't feel very satisfying. And it was so confusing to me. It's like, oh, the app thing, you track me, and then that's how they finds him. And it's like, oh wow, good.
And it's like, it's played off as a joke. I have a lot of apps.
And it's like, oh, that was the worst. And then there's the jokes. I don't think I've laughed at a single joke.
What jokes?
The anti-jokes.
I don't remember any jokes.
Like the app thing.
I don't remember any jokes, Tim. I don't remember any jokes.
It's like the cat. I want to shoot myself with a cat joke.
Oh, I hated that. Man. I hated that.
I mean, what
I have nothing entertaining to say, and I'm sorry that I brought this up, but I wanted to mention just that there's a long history of this movie being made.
Oh, really? They really wanted to, like, get the monies?
I think it started in 2008.
Oh my goodness!
With our friend Avi Arad.
Avi Arad.
I don't know if you remember Avi Arad.
Well, because what? So Sony owns
Venom,
PlayStation,
Spider-Man,
and they have rights, right? So this is all under the umbrella of the game. So like, game make good, movie do better.
Well, look, and it's perfect because it's already a movie.
Exactly. But do we know? Wait, I got to read this. Did they adapt the story from the movie, or they just kind of went?
From what I heard from friends, is like a little bit from the first one, a little bit from the last one.
Okay. But it's not actually.
And the last one is
like
the grand finale. Yeah, no, it's not the game. It has nothing to do with the story of the game. I don't think so, anyway. And anyway, like, I know at least that Nathan Drake is supposed to be this kind of really not swave so much as just back-talking, jokey.
Like Indiana Jones, right?
An adventure guy, yeah.
Smartass.
Just a little bit more, yeah, pretty much. And his partner, whose name is Sully, I think.
Mark.
He's yeah, but in the games, he's like this dude with a mustache chomping on a cigar all the time and being like, "Hey man, I'm kind of old, but I really like treasure hunting, so you got to help me treasure hunt."
The old mentor.
And they go together, and they have like their other friend, who I don't remember because I never played the games before. Who is the girl?
Which one?
And they're
there's
all
a bunch
thieves.
Of girls.
Oh no, not the bad guy.
Not the lady, the bad lady, the lady who's like help him, not help him lady.
Yes, yeah. And they're all kind of thieves, but they all work together to find treasure in different locations.
Right.
And there's always some kind of opposition from organizations and stuff like that. It's very much like Tomb Raider,
Banderas.
except it's a
Antonio
team. It's a
Banderas
Tomb
wants
Raider
this
team.
one.
Yeah, exactly. And I can see that because I've seen glimpses of that character dynamic, and I laugh at the fact that this is what we get. It's like the most bland form of nothing that could ever be shown in a movie that's already is like a movie, and they couldn't even do justice with that. And it went through a bunch of directors, I think, in 2010 and 2011, 2012, 13, 14. Lots of people were excited to do it. And I showed you this because my friend Wahab, shout out to Wahab, he sent me this fan film of
yes, with
Uncharted in 2018.
what's the actor's
with
name?
Nathan Fillion.
Oh, yeah.
All the fans were like, he's like perfect for Nathan Drake. He looks exactly like him, and he's based off of him too. You know?
Okay. But here's the thing, right? So, and this was what was frustrating about the main character of Nate Drake, and I feel like I've seen this in other movies as well. Is like, okay, so they obviously went with the origin story, right? How was Nate Drake created? So they went with Tom Holland to cast a younger person, right? In that fan fiction, they're already treasure hunting, so Nathan Drake is played by Nathan, whatever, Fillion. What is his name? Something.
Nathan Fillion, isn't it? Doesn't have the same
so.
name.
Okay, and so he's older and he's more experienced in this and he's more suave. So, but still, the character doesn't know who he is. It's changes. He's like, if you're charting an origin story, you would have the rookie and the mentor, and throughout the movie, the rookie learned some things. But here in this movie, he's a rookie, but he's already knows, to fight. He knows kung fu. He knows how to jump. He knows all the history. He knows, like, you can't.
He has everything. He's not learning.
No, he's not learning
he's
anything.
Just a character. He is the character in the movie.
But then when they need him to be like, oh, I'm dumb. I made a mistake. He switches back to that, and then back they want to eat the cake and make the cake, or whatever, have the cake and eat the cake.
Have the cake and eat.
They want him to be cool so people like him, but also it's like, but it's an origin story, so he has to be dumb sometimes. It was bizarre. It's not a compelling character, unfortunately. And Marky Mark.
How does this compare with?
Who cares?
Man, I just don't. Marky Mark, just he hurts to look at. Unless it's The Departed, that was pretty good.
Yeah, he needs to play an asshole, but like a bad asshole, not a heartwarming,
not a good asshole,
not a good asshole, bad asshole. I don't know, man.
So how does this compare with Tomb Raider?
Okay, so how does it compare? I can't really compare it. Here's what I learned. Here's
what I feel. I feel like Tomb Raider was made from the salt of the earth. It felt like it was a film crew making a film, and it was a silly film. That's what it came across to me. And it felt like all the characters were popping and bright and Lara Croft, Angelina Jolie, had all of her what do you call that? Like all the broad strokes of personality to keep that movie going. She comes into a room with her sunglasses and auctions, buys a random artifact that costs $2 million with her giant, combat boots, and struts off with her sunglasses. She don't care. That was fantastic. This movie is like me going to get grits or grease. Yes. Except with all of the flavor taken out. More flavor taken out than normal.
Just nothingness. Just texture. Without
it's just people talking and special effects going around. Man, I hated that when they were taking up that ship.
Oh, that was like, I don't, yeah. Ugh. It feels just like, I don't know. It feels like a writer room, and they're like, and then the ships, the helicopters, and they fly, and
I'm doing this for my brother. And it's like, remember that one time when they were in the cave, not in the cave, like underneath, and
the church stuff?
Like they did the whole thing with the church. Keys. And he's like, I just got you here because I needed someone to help me find the cross or whatever I'm looking for. And then Nathan Drake gets angry at him for like 2 seconds and just like, what do you mean? Oh, but I'll still go with you.
I'm still your friend.
You betrayed me. You betrayed me because you said that my brother was still alive, but he's gone. He's dead. It's okay.
It's okay. But the story needs me to move on.
That's how bland. That's the blandness. Ew, gross.
But
disgusting.
Don't get me started on that church thing. It's a first rule of freaking tomb raiding. You can't have this crazy mechanics and hidden chambers and everything in a populated city. There's freaking.
What do you mean, Tim? It's so funny when they open the door and they're in a club.
Okay, that was a good idea because that's the whole purpose of it. People are build sewers and things like that. You can't just have that shit hidden in plain sight. These things are discovered. Like, you can't have some random ass hole for a key where, civilization has been living for 2,000 years. You can have that shit somewhere out in the jungle. That's fine. It's just a nitpick when it comes to these adventures. It just reminds me of like lazy movie making, which is like, just think when you're setting these things up, please just think about it a little bit. A little bit. You can't.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, what I've learned, and maybe you won't like this, but I've learned that technically, I didn't really particularly like either of these movies. I think it was more entertaining to watch Tomb Raider than it was this.
Of course it was.
This felt like, those Netflix movies we watched, like those action Netflix movies, like with those guys in the jungle.
You mean Uncharted?
Yeah, Uncharted felt like one of those just boring, bland Netflix action movies. But in essentially, I think what I've learned is that both of these are technically the same movie. They're just made in different time. I think they both encompass the tropes, the contemporary tropes of that time. It's just, they're just a studio movie where a bunch of people put together and they were, charged to make a movie on.
Hard disagree. I disagree because I had fun watching Tomb Raider though.
I mean, sure, but it's still a dumbass movie. It's like there's
but it was fun. It was a fun dumbass.
But it was fun because I was laughing at it. It wasn't fun because I was enjoying it. It was really cringy.
Well, I think that to me it had entertaining. It was entertaining enough for me to want to know what's happening next.
Oh, no!
Like I said, I thought the characters were silly, and I wanted to see Daniel Craig's horrible accent continue. I didn't feel anything at the end of the movie, obviously, but I would definitely watch it again because it was, and it's also short as well.
That's a plus, it being short, but I feel like it was entertaining, but not for what it tried to be entertaining. It was entertaining because of all its faults to me. I don't think anything was done particularly well in that movie, to be honest.
Then why wasn't I entertained by Chuck Norris, Uncharted?
Yeah, well, I was not entertained by. I wanted to die. If I went to this theater. If it was a movie on Netflix, I would turn it off halfway through because just couldn't take it. It was horrid. It was horrid.
It was horrid. Well, I don't know, man. I feel like there's some kind of value to Tomb Raider, which will make me want to watch it again.
Okay.
There's something in there that was more colorful and it felt more homemade than the other one. The other one is
Have you seen the new Tomb Raider movies?
No. Because I don't like, I heard that it was adapting that 2013 one. And I didn't like the 2013
the young
premise,
survival, Lara.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to see young survival. It looked bland. It looked bland to me. It just looked like there's not going to be anything.
Oh, okay.
I think I'll watch it and I'll be just like, I watched it. It'll be like Uncharted. I watched it. It glazed over me, and that's it. What do you think, Tim? Did you watch it?
I watched it. I didn't particular. Like, my wife loves it. She'll watch it from time to time. She enjoys it. Like I said, I think I might just be too saturated from my love for the video games and me waiting for something that kind of covers that edge. I found, you know what I found? It was pretty cool. I found this.
What did you find?
I was looking for pictures.
What did you find
of all the Lara Crofts throughout the time, and I found this lady on ArtStation. She did a it's pretty extensive of like what would be like a modern interpretation of the original 90s outfit. It was pretty cool. Here, I'll send you a link.
Oh, let me see. Oh, cool. Oh, cool, man.
Oh, cool.
You better put all these links.
I better put all these links. We'll also link the homemade movie for y'all. I think this was pretty cool. Like it's really extensive, like all the outfits and like the ideas why and the backpacks and how could if there was a game, you know.
Man, she'd be rattling like crazy walking around like this.
Yeah, no sneaking, just like with her Walkman and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'll link this up.
Oh, Walkman, it's so good. She does have a Walkman in the Discman on the in the inventory, right?
Yeah, voice recorder, digital watch. You know, it's super like you know in the 90s. I think that would be pretty cool.
This makes me really want to draw.
You're gonna redo the Lara from the picture.
Yeah, really do. I'll try to do it as photorealistic as
that's gonna be the best. I can't wait to see it.
Fantastic. I don't know what else to say about Uncharted. It sucked. It stinks.
I mean, I could just nitpick about bad movie making, but it's just kind of pointless. I just don't. I just all of it is just sad, bad. I feel sorry. I don't know for who, but
who would you feel sorry for? It feels like the people who did that fan film would have been better at doing it.
I don't know. I feel maybe feel.
We didn't even talk about the fan film.
It's good. I mean, it's it's a fan film. I don't know. I don't know Uncharted, so it like means nothing to me. Sorry, I said that sounded so bad to me.
To me, it just felt like I watched it and I could see who the characters
I guess.
were.
Yeah, that's true.
From there,
that's true.
You get a good idea of what it is, and they actually did a little bit of the gameplay too. You know.
Like no, I don't like that. That was the action part.
I thought they did it in a.
No, okay. Don't do that. No, that's icky. Don't do. But I think it was good. Okay. The interrogation, I think.
Okay,
it's pretty good. I don't know. I feel like
they got Nathan. They got who did they get in? They got the guy from Avatar. I forget what his name is.
That's where I recognize him. He's the knife mech guy, right?
Yeah.
The mech with the knife
from Avatar.
Avatar is coming at some point. Avatar's coming. It's coming. And it's 50 sequels. It's coming. Well, I mean,
dude.
Yeah. That's Tomb Raider.
Tomb.
So you recommend number one and don't recommend Uncharted
yes, I do.
To anyone?
I recommend number one. It was fun. If you don't like, if you can't stand it for the first 2 minutes of like the intro with her killing the robot and then meeting her butler and nosy assistant, then you probably won't like it. But I just had fun.
It's like a time capsule.
I liked it for what it was.
Blockbuster action movies, adventure movies from that time. If you enjoy that, you're gonna enjoy that movie. You're gonna enjoy Lara Croft.
Have you seen Cradle of Life?
I did. I don't remember anything from it.
Tomb Raider, Cradle.
I just know she's
Cradle
got
of Life. Cradle of Life.
Like a silver suit. She rides a jet ski.
Yeah, it was all over the posters. I remember me and Jake watched it, and I can't remember exactly what happened, but I do remember being like, "Oh, that was a generic sequel."
I don't know what happens.
Back in 2003,
she goes to a prison.
So
in Russia,
imagine what I would think now.
Like a big furry.
She does.
Oh, you know what? Did you know what I know? The only thing I know about it, the Korn had a video for I did my time, and Angelina Jolie comes in and screams at Jonathan. So yeah, that's
as Lara Croft.
Yeah, it's Lara Croft. That's Tomb Raider 2. Oh, whatever.
Wow.
The Chronicles of Riddick. I don't know what's it called. What is it called again?
A Cradle of Life.
I'm tired.
All right. Well, in that case, we can wrap it up. We can wait for the next time where we will definitely be talking about comic book movies.
The return of the comic books. If you
Bomb.
If you're a feller,
you can interrupt.
Enjoyer of the Tomb Raider games.
Well, hey there, feller.
Let us know, and we'll do a live stream. We can talk about more about Tomb Raider games because it's good stuff. I have many stories, especially if you play the Tomb Raider games. You know what I'd like to do one day? I would like for me and my brother to sit down and play through all these, like live stream playing all through these games.
Oh, see, there's a good one. That's a good thing to do. I would like to. I'd watch it.
We're old.
I want to hear you guys talk about your memories.
That's what we're going to do. We're just going to sit down and just die because those games are hard. Difficult. Oh yeah, here's the last photo. So you were so good at drawing computer stuff.
Yeah, I'm so good
at it. You're a good artist. Back in the day when I was 10, I had this comic book that I drew called Chi-Chi's Adventures. It was basically like a stick man. And I found this. One of the comics was basically a ripoff of Tomb Raider 2. And I just plugged the story. The first couple levels of Tomb Raider made it into my comics.
Oh, look at that! That's beautiful.
It's killing it.
Little stickmen with guns.
Stickmen with guns. And but I'm glad to see up there in the corner it says Pod la Tomb Raider 2. It says, it's based on Tomb Raider 2. So at least they gave it credit. I wasn't
there's a dragon.
Straight out thief.
That's in the. At least you did that. Well, that's so cute. Chi-Chi's the guy who comes in after Tomb Raider's done with everything, after Lara's finished. He just
Chi-Chi
plays the game on easy mode.
But did Chi-Chi, same like Lara, he always has two guns in his hands. He does have a red hat, but he's got two hands.
But he has a red cap. He's like a little stick man pointing his little stick guns with his red cap.
Yeah, and he has a friend called Glishi. He has a cowboy hat, and then he has Bolero. He has like a cape.
Oh.
Those are three mates, and they go adventures. Chi-Chi's adventures.
That's awesome. And what's Chi-Chi doing here? There's like this big stone slab which has spikes.
Oh yeah, that's classic Tomb Raider spike rock chasing him.
Chi-Chi looks like he's smart. He knows what he's doing. He's staying away from the spikes. He's walking away from them.
I think that's a pressure plate. You stepped on it, and the spikes are coming to get him.
Oh, okay. I thought he was walking away and going, you know what? I'm responsible. I'm not going to get near those spikes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to risk
This
that.
also spoils the end of Tomb Raider 2, because up there you see a man is on
the Death Star.
A man is on a bed, and there's like blue power balls coming at him. He turns into the dragon, and Chi-Chi's shooting him.
Oh, is that what happens?
The Italian mobster. Oh, what was his name? Pellegrini or something like that.
Pellegrini, hey, come on.
Oh, damn it.
Pellegrini, come on.
He finds a dagger, stabs himself, and turns into a dragon. You have to kill the dragon.
Oh, I see. What's the Death Star in the middle there?
The Death Star? Oh, the thing? That's the symbol from Tomb Raider 2. That's the symbol of where the dagger is hidden. I carefully recreated that symbol.
Oh, I see. Okay. It's exactly what it looks like.
Exactly. Just the wavy lines. That's that. Wow. I'll try not to forget about all these magical links.
Tomb Raider, baby.
We'll post the pictures on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. We sometimes post shit.
Yeah. Sometimes we go live. Sometimes we go on YouTube. Have we ever done the YouTube thing yet?
Did the
live?
test.
Wow.
Next time.
Just did the test.
We did the test. Next time, baby.
Test. Yeah. Next time.
Thanks for listening. Enjoy your life in these trialing times.
I want to go to McDonald's. I still have time.
And what?
Nothing. Don't. I don't want to get made fun of.
I'm tired. I'm going to sleep.
Great. Good. Done. Excellent. I'm going to take a walk outside.
Oh yes. And find shoes.
Oh yeah, you heard about the shoes?
I heard about the raptor shoes. The raptor shoes?
What? Raptor shoes?
The raptor shoes.
What raptor shoes? Why do you recoil? I am no thief. If you will but give me the ring, I only ask for the strength to defend my people.
All right, calm down, Boromir. It's the end of the episode. Everyone have a good time. Love you.
Okay. What raptor shoes, Tim?
I said raptor shoes, but it sounded like raptor shoes.
I was thinking, like, did I buy Velociraptor shoes when I was a kid? Is that another?
No. It's not, do I have another picture? Pull out another picture from the archives. Yeah.
Oh, I have another question. This is another question.
Yes.
Look, Batman's coming out.
Yes.
Are we gonna do that one?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we do the 3 Batman, the 3 number 1 Batmans. Just be like
3 of them.
Well, yeah, the first Tim Burton Batman, the Dark Knight, and then this.
Watched 3 movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like compare, 3 Batman. We have 3,
Not
Batman.
Adam West.
That's not a movie though, is it?
There's one movie. There's the Batman movie.
Maybe
I
we do
watched
4.
it. I watched it once and it's silly.
Okay, we could do a quad. We can talk about it. Yeah.
Some days
Yeah,
you just can't get rid of a bomb.
What?